Richician!
Hey YouTube, Richician 84 here and welcome to Q&A number 171. Let's kick it off. The first two questions are from Gunner. 1. Would you like to have in Yu-Gi-Oh! No other rarities as commons and rares in exchange where there is no expensive card? Oh wait, do you mean no other rarities besides commons and rares? Like, I'm assuming that's what you mean. So everyone can afford everything because a card will not be worth more. That what? Oh, hello.
Hi. Hello, Socks.
Hey, Socks.
Did you mean
I'm assuming you mean worth more than like hundreds of pounds, euros, and dollars. Oh, we can't have a grumpy kissy, can we? Not so grumpy now.
You really want me around? You were doing your Q&A?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's alright. So, no other rarities besides commons and rares. I guess I would be okay with that. So that way we don't have cards that are outrageous prices. Although, to be fair, we've had starter deck and structure deck ultras that aren't exactly very expensive. So I think I'd still like to have those, since ultra is my favourite rarity, but I can see what you mean. Having everything in only rare and common would make everything a lot cheaper and easier to get, which I would be all on board with.
Were they going to see her?
Should be able to.
You're going to be famous now. Socks. Blend in with your socks.
Oh yeah, true. 2. If there is no Flame Wingman monster or Neos monster, which hero would be your most favourite then? That's a tough one. Well, with no Flame Wingman kind of monster, Jaden would have to have a different favourite card, whereas the Neo-Spacian archetype would have to have a different hero monster as their main card. Of course, this would mean that Rainbow Neos wouldn't exist, which I'm sure Express Gaming, Weber's 5, Brian, George and other Rainbow Neos haters would jump for joy at, even though I think any Rainbow Neos hate of any kind is unfair and unjustified, but that's a different story. Yeah, it would mean that my Rainbow Neos deck wouldn't exist, and I don't know if I'd have a third signature deck. I would still have a third favourite deck overall, though. But anyway, going back to the question, yeah, I mean, it really depends whether it's just elemental heroes overall, or whether it be anything from just the anime. Because let's just review my top 5 favourite elemental heroes. From 1 to 5, it's Shining Flare Wingman, Flame Wingman, Stratos, Neos, and The Shining. That would leave the options of Stratos and The Shining. Also, sorry if you can hear the washing machine or tumble dryer in the background. I guess my favourite hero would probably fall on Stratos, although he's not really an ace monster of a deck, though. I mean, he's a hero staple, but not a main signature monster of a hero deck. So it probably wouldn't be him, and maybe I'd do my top 10 favourite Elemental Hero list a bit differently. Otherwise, if Stratos was my favourite Elemental Hero, it would mean that I would be even more pissed off and upset about him getting banned on the September 13 list, and then jump for joy more than I did like back when he got unbanned 5 years later. But if we're going for just fusions, then that would fall on the Shining, because he'd be my go-to boss monster of my Elemental Hero deck. Because yeah, he'd be so easy to bring out. He'd be a powerhouse, which could become an even bigger powerhouse depending on how many Elemental Heroes are banished. Although it would be even more infuriating whenever the opponent would try to get rid of it in a way that makes it so I don't get his second effects, so recycle 2 banished Elemental Heroes, like banishing him, absorbing him with Honor Arc, activating Soul Taker. Yeah, it would just be so fucking annoying. But if we'd be going for anime Elemental Heroes, that would be a tough one. Then the choices would range from Blade Edge, Thunder Giant, Wild Edge, Plasma Vice, or Shining Phoenix Enforcer. It would be really hard to say which of those I like more, since they're all just so great in their own right. Blade Edge would basically be the Dark Magician of the deck, but with an effect, and has 100 more attack points. Sure, it'd be just a piercer, and piercers aren't that relevant these days, but I guess in GX era it would have meant a lot. And at least he'd be a lot easier to summon because of Necroshade. Thunder Giant would still be a great ace monster in a way, just destroying anything whose original attack points are less than his own, which would be particularly handy for getting rid of battle immune monsters like Spirit Reaper and Marshmallow, which would be very handy in Perfect Circle games, considering Matt and Alison Welch just always fucking sees Marshmallow whenever we play Perfect Circle. Seriously, I'm not even exaggerating. Unless he's using his own Elemental Hero deck, he always has it. I don't know how, he just always seems to have it at any point during a duel. I can't think of one singular time where he didn't see it, like in any of our games, other than when he's using his own Elemental Heroes, because that's the only deck that he doesn't play it in. Anyway, back on topic. I guess the other choices would be Wild Edge. That's also a cool 2600 beta that can just clear away a bunch of monsters that it can just attack over. Shining Phoenix Enforcer would also be a pretty cool beat stick. Just a 25 beta that gains 300 for each Elemental Hero in my grave, just like Shining Flare Wingman, but it wouldn't have Shining Flare Wingman's burn effect, obviously, just the battle immunity. Um, then again, it's unlikely that opponents would even try and destroy it in battle anyway. Um, and then there's Plasma Vice, one of the best Sparkman fusions. Also a piercer and just lets me get rid of any monster, as long as it's in attack mode and doesn't have targeting or destruction immunities. Um, so that's another cool go-to monster. And I also really didn't like how um, two people who played in the minor league called it a bad card. Like, how is it bad? I mean, first of all, like, there's no such thing as a bad card. No one can tell me otherwise. And secondly, Plasma Vice is amazing. Like, due to what I just said. In fact, if I wanted to, I could build an Elemental-based deck where Plasma Vice was the main monster and just play it against a bunch of people and just prove them wrong. But yeah, I don't know who I'd pick really. I guess it would be Blade Edge if I wasn't that fussed about the fusions, but since it's a fusion based deck, it's more likely I'd go for one of the fusions as my favourite hero, at least from the anime. Um, I I feel like it would be Wild Edge. Just because he's still a beat stick, can attack over most things. Even more if I've got Skyscraper. Maybe that would change to Plasma Vice later on, but it's hard to say. Next few questions, mostly, are from John Cross. 1. Did you ever run Silent Doom in any of your decks? No, I didn't. Although I think I put it in a Kyber deck that I made or tried to make some time ago. But in terms of proper decks, no, I didn't, because I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, I just don't like how the monster has to come back in defense mode and can just never attack. Otherwise, if it didn't have that drawback, that would have been something I'd play in Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Red Eyes Black Dragon. I know a card like that has to have a drawback of some kind, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. And 2 is not even a question. Well, we are getting a Blue Eyes White. Yeah, I think that was meant to say Dragon, not Destiny. White Dragon structure deck. Yeah, I'm already aware of this. I think everyone's. Oh, were you not aware of it? um, no, I'm already aware of this. In fact, I swear you already told me this in another Q&A. People don't need to tell me things that I already know. It's actually this is. I mean, no disrespect to anyone, but I find it really annoying when people either tell me things that they've already told me, or just in general tell me things I already know. It's like, dude, I already know this. You don't need to tell me like a million times. And on a similar note, oh yeah, and it's not even a ask me questions that I can answer, not give me news stories. Well, unless of course it's in the form of a question, where it would be like, did you know about this, that, and the other? Did you know we're getting this, that, and the other? See, that would be perfectly fine. Anyway, 3. Did you know we're getting new evil heroes in Supreme Darkness? Yeah, again, I already know this. In fact, everyone already knows this. I mean, if you know, end up knowing about it, then obviously by that time I'll have already known as well. 4. What was your favourite legendary collection that you opened? Yugi's World, Joey's World, Kaiba's World? Actually, none of those. My favourite legendary collection was Legendary Collection 2. Yeah, that was not only my favourite legendary collection, but one of my favourite ever Yu-Gi-Oh products to open. Yeah, I could open, if I could, I'd open several cases of it. Although Yugi's World is my second favourite legendary collection, so that would be the closest thing to an answer to your question. Yeah. Oh, I just noticed that you wrote 5Ds down there as well. But yeah, that was a good one to open as well. A lot of fun, but GX is the favourite. 5. The cats did like those bubbles. Yes, they did, but again, it's not even a question! 6. We are getting a Rarity Collection 4. Yeah, again, I already know this. So if you find out and know this, then there's a very good chance that I already know as well. 7. Dark Magician Girl, Apprentice Magician, Alliance Insight. Yeah, what about it? There's no context here. It's like, is this another news story, or are you asking me if I heard about it? Either way, I'm already aware of that card's existence. And the last 2 questions are from Matt and Alison Welch. 1. Out of all Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime series or episodes, which one did you find the weirdest that didn't make much sense? I'd say mine would have to be Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's episode 13, where in the English dub, Yusei doesn't remember who he is or who anyone is, but in the Japanese dub, he's perfectly aware of who he is and who people are. Yeah, that is a bit unusual. I would have to say the same thing, because honestly, I can't think of anything. I'm really trying to think back to all the episodes, and yeah, that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Of course, I say that now, and then I'm just gonna randomly remember something else. Wouldn't that be typical? And finally, 2. Did you know they're making a Sonic 4? Wait, really? Didn't Sega already make a Sonic 4 back in 2010? Because they brought it out as sort of a 2-part series on, like, what was it, the Game Boy Advance or something, or Nintendo DS, or it was some sort of Nintendo console. I can't remember which one it was, but I swear they already made a Sonic 4. I mean, if this is another version or a remake, then no, I didn't know that. This is the first I've heard of it. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I'd gladly play it, although still have yet to play Sonic Frontiers. I mean, I got it for my Xbox One, but I never got round to playing it. I will eventually, but I'm trying to prioritise other things first. But anyway, that is it for questions in this episode. Thank you very much for your guys' questions, very cool ones as always. And if you've got any other questions you want to ask me, post them in the comments section down below. And remember, I do these episodes every Tuesday afternoon or evening, UK time, so be sure to get your questions in before then so that you don't miss out. Thanks again, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later, and so will Socks. Bye bye. Say bye bye, Socks. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.